My beloved brethren, I'm honored to be with you at this worldwide priesthood gathering. With you, I'm so grateful to be in the presence of our beloved prophet, President Thomas S. Monson, and President Eyring. Brethren, we thank you for your faithfulness and moral strength. It is indeed a privilege and a joy to be part of this great brotherhood. Some years ago, in our meeting house in Darmstadt, Germany, a group of brethren was asked to move a grand piano from the chapel to the adjoining cultural hall, where it was needed for a musical event. None were professional movers, and the task of getting that gravity-friendly instrument through the chapel and into the cultural hall seemed nearly impossible. Everybody knew that this task required not only physical strength, but also careful coordination. There were plenty of ideas, but not one keep the piano balanced correctly. They repositioned the brethren by strength, height, and age over and over again. Nothing worked. As they stood around the piano, uncertain of what to do next, a good friend of mine, Brother Hanno Lushin, spoke up. He said, "Brethren, stand close together and lift where you stand." It seemed too simple. Nevertheless, each lifted where he stood, and the piano rose from the ground and moved into the cultural hall as if on its own power. That was the answer to the challenge. They merely needed to stand close together and lift where they stood. I have often thought of Brother Lushin's simple idea and have been impressed by its profound truth. Tonight, I would like to expand on that simple concept: lift where you stand. Although it may seem simple, lifting where we stand is a principle of power. Most of the priesthood bearers I know understand and live by this principle. They are eager to roll up their sleeves and go to work, whatever that work might be. They faithfully perform their priesthood duties. They magnify their callings. They serve the Lord by serving others. They stand close together and lift where they stand. However, there are those who sometimes struggle with this concept. And when they do, they seem to fall into one of two camps. Either they seek to lead, or they seek to hide. They covet a crown or a cave. Those who seek to lead may feel they are capable of doing more than they are currently asked to do. Some might think, if only I were a bishop, I could make a difference. They believe that their abilities far surpass their calling. Perhaps if they were in an important position of leadership, they would work hard at making a difference. But they wonder, what possible influence can I have as merely a home teacher or a counselor in the Quorum Presidency? Those who seek to hide may feel that they are too busy to serve in the church. When the chapel needs to be cleaned, when the Mendez family needs to help moving, when the bishop calls them to teach a class, they always seem to have a ready excuse. 20 years ago, President Ezra Taft Benson shared reports from bishops and stake presidents that some members, and I quote, are turning down calls to serve, claiming they're too busy or they haven't got time. Others accept such callings but refuse to magnify those callings. President Benson went on to say, "The Lord expects each of us to have a calling in His church so that others may be blessed by our talents and influence, close quote. Oddly enough, often the root cause of both of these tendencies, seeking to lead or seeking to hide, may be the same: selfishness. There's a better way, taught to us by the Savior himself. Whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant. When we seek to serve others, we are motivated not by selfishness, but by charity. This is the way Jesus Christ lived his life, and the way a holder of the priesthood must live his. The Savior did not care for the honors of man. Satan offered him all the kingdoms and glory of the world, and Jesus rejected the offer immediately and completely. Throughout his life, the Savior must have often felt tired and pressed upon, with scarcely a moment to himself. Yet he always made time for the sick, the sorrowful, and the overlooked. In spite of this shining example, we too easily and too often get caught up in seeking the honors of man rather than serving the Lord with all our might, mind, and strength. Brethren, when we stand before the Lord to be judged, will he look upon the positions we have held in the world or even in the church? Do you suppose that titles we have had other than husband, father, or priesthood holder will mean much to him? Do you think he will care how packed our schedule was or how many important meetings we attended? Do you suppose that our success in filling our days with appointments will serve as an excuse for failure to spend time with our wife and family? The Lord judges so very differently from the way we do. He is pleased with a noble servant, not with a self-serving noble. Those who are humble in this life will wear crowns of glory in the next. Jesus taught this doctrine himself when he told the story of the rich man who was clothed in purple and fine linen and ate sumptuously every day, while the beggar Lazarus yearned merely to taste of the crumbs from the rich man's table. In the next life, Lazarus appeared in glory next to Abraham, while the rich man was cast into hell, where he lifted up his eyes in torment. This year marks the 200th anniversary of the birth of John Rowe Moyle,